एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्र इन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् वायोः सात्विकांशात् त्वगिन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् अग्नेः सात्विकांशात् चक्षुरिन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् जलस्य सात्विकांशात् रसनेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् पृथिव्याः सात्विकांशात् घ्राणेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम् So from the cause called Bhagavan, which is referred here by the terminology Brahma plus Maya. When Brahman is separate, it is Parabrahma Swarupam. Simple Maya is Maya. But when Brahman and Maya comes together, the same Parabrahma Swarupam get the status called Bhagavan or Ishvara. And the same Bhagavan is called as the one creator, sustainer, destroyer or dissolver. Shrishti, Sthiti, Laya, Karta. And the same expression of that itself is called Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. The three of them are there, and thus though names are different, in reality all the three are one and the same Parabrahma Swarupam. But we call differently by the name of God, because of functionally they are different. Like when you do function, you look as though different, but you are the same. Let's say one stage you are father, another stage you are husband, third one you are something else. Why? Because some reason is there. By that standpoint, you remaining one, you get different name. This is how the whole thing goes on. So similarly, so what we should understand, if you see Tattvam, the reality, Paramartham, Bhagavan is only one. And that one Bhagavan is always referred as Parabrahma, Paramatma, Nirgunam, Nirakaram. But when the creation is there, when we see from the standpoint of creation, the same Bhagavan appears as though multi. The multi in that, the main three is called trinities, which itself further divides into varieties. And when they become formful, enjoying a form and function, they get another name called Devatas. More we are going to talk about it, later we will talk. Now from this cause, the material and the efficient, the raw material as though, came about this creation, and we saw in the creation the primordial thing that is required is rudimentary, that has been taken, is called the 5 elements. And they are being said here or enumerated here in the order of their subtlety. Last time we saw there is a subtlety which progressively becomes grosser and grosser. And the grossness is ultimately based on what? Decided on the basis of enjoying a certain quality or attribute in themselves. Thus finally we saw the earth is the one which has got the maximum grossness, and it enjoys all the 5 of them. So you can go from the gross to the subtle, or you can come from the subtle to the gross. Thus these 5 elements have been talked. Now having talked about the elements, the next stage that we are coming to is called elementals. Elementals are that which are born of the elements. And that particular thing itself, the elementals, in that the whole creation can be taken, but We are more interested with this body where we have got the notion I. So in order to make it more and more clear, the body is taken in that totally for the totally discussion, but that doesn't mean the world is not included. You will find the world will come there. Where it comes, we will see in this. So that condition being there, first of all we are taken as a matter of fact, if you see, the whole world is nothing but the 5 elements and their guna. So we saw what are the guna is there, 5 gunas are there, sound, then touch is there, sound, touch, then forms are there, colors are there, taste is there, and smell is there. And this our Shastra says the world is nothing but this 5. Shabda, Sparisha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. If you go to anything in the world, you will find the world can be categorized under these 5 heads. So that is why 5 elements, 5 gunas, and from there only everything comes. So everything is 5. That's why I tell you it is called Prapancha. Pancha means 5, the pentamerous process, because of which everything is 5, 5, 5. 5 sense organs, 5 particular vishayas, anything is 5, 5 elements. So everything being 5, 5, it is called Prapancha. There is 5 only. 5 sense organs, 5 objects. And if you analyze the whole world, you have to put it either under the category of sound, you have to put it under particularly touch, you have to put it under form or color, or you have to say it is smell, or it is only taste. These are the 5 things you have got. A 6th thing is not at all available. Hence Bhagavan has not provided a 6th, another 6th one called a sense organ. Though we use a 6th sense, that's a different thing. But we have got sense organs only, 5 only. And 5 things available. And the 5 things are called the world. The world is only Shabda, Sparisha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham, which is called Vishayam. The whole Vishaya is in this category only. And you can see it in some way or other, they will all come into this category. Now having talked this itself, so this order should be maintained, because now we are going to take to that particular thing. The next thing is in the elementals that are created, the various things that have been talked about this body, one by one they are going to be accounted for. Now in this, what is the thing that comes into being or becoming? It is not Atma. That's what we must know. Because what is the thing this is made of? It is made up of, one way we are going to see, it is made up of nothing but the 5 elements. But the 5 elements is the composite thing called the body. The body is nothing but 5 elements, which we have seen also before when we talked about the Stula Shariram. This body has got the 5 elements. That's why we thought Stula Shariram made of what? Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhudaihi Kritam. That is what is going to be explained here. That it is a product of the grossified 5 elements. That is called the gross body. But then we have got other parts of them, each one is taken. So what is the order here? Subtle to the gross. So we are talking from the subtle aspect first. So now we are taking the sense organs, that is organs of perception, they are making what they are made of. They are product of what? Now we saw earlier, everything being a product of Maya, Maya has got 3 gunas. Earlier, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo guna, Atmika Maya. And Brahman, Tataha, Akasha, Sambhutaha. You have seen. That means Akasham is a product from Maya with the association of Parabrahma Swarupam. Now all gunas are at whose level you must know? The gunas are at the level of the Maya. What about Brahman? Brahman is free from any guna. Like even sun. When you look at the sun, it has got no coloration. But when you allow it particularly pass through a prism and refract it, as though sun has got the 7 colors, or you pass it through colored glasses, the sunlight as though assumes different colors. So like that, Brahman by itself has got no colors, but because of association with something, it gets as though colored. Like water is clean, it has got no color. But when you add coloration, it becomes different thing. Like even what? All are particularly cold drinks you have got. But each one puts a brand and puts a different color and says my product, different color, different name. But what is the basis for everything? It is only water added to that what? Rasam is added and a color also is added. And you brand it. And everybody says my product is better than yours. This is all going on. Similarly, what is the basis for the whole creation? The Parabrahma Swarupam, to which the coloration is added. Who gives the color? That is called Maya. And the coloration is this variegated world. But for all of them, the material substance is what? Substance is only Parabrahma Swarupam. So hence here now, the sense organs to be born, there what is the thing that comes? The first guna that is taken into account is called Sattva guna. Hence we saw while talking about all these things, Sattva guna always accounts for the principle of knowledge. Sattva gunam always accounts for the jnana shakti, the capacity to know, the capacity to understand, capacity to intellect, do vivechanam, vivekam, discrimination. All the thing is always accounted by the guna called Sattva. Hence, all sense organs are reporters of the entire creation. They are gates as though through which feeding takes place of various data into the mind and buddhi. And when the matter, particularly materials, are fed, you collect the knowledge, information, so many things are going on. So since they have a direct relation to knowledge, that's why they are called as jnana indriya. What we generally call organs of perception and sense organs we say. Another way in our Shastra you always call, earlier we saw, they are all called Jnana Indriya. Why they are called Jnana Indriya? They being instrumental in the birth of knowledge. They give you lot of information, everything to get and even to deal in the world, they are very much essential. Hence they have been called as Jnana Indriyam, which referred here as organs of perception, to perceive, to hear, to know, all. That's why there are two types of knowledge we saw. One is perception wise knowledge, another one is indirect knowledge called, particularly that which is called inference, all those things we saw before. So all these are possible only when this direct knowledge is available. Otherwise it is not at all possible. They are discussed. Since they have got to be accounted for, and Sattvam being the product for that or the cause for that, here it is being discussed. Every element is a product of Maya, so every element enjoys a unit of Sattvam, a unit of Rajas and a unit of Tamas also. Why? The quality of the cause flows into the effect. Anything you make out of a substance, the quality of the substance will be seen in the finished product. Then only it is real. Like if it is say it is made of gold, the finished product should have what? The quality of gold in that. If it is made of cotton, the finished product should have the cotton quality in it. Similarly, if things are born of Maya, the gunam of Maya must be seen in the elements. So every element has got the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Now, every element is there. So, every element has got Sattva Gunam. We are going to talk about the Sattva Gunam, which is instrumental for the sense organs. Now, what we have seen, every element has got its own guna. Akasha has got particularly a guna which we saw, its quality is what? Its quality is Shabdam. Air has got its own guna and that quality is called as Parisham. The fire has got its quality and we saw it is Rupam. Water has got its quality called Rasam. And the earth has got its quality called Gandha. The 5 qualities. Now you will find every element itself and its guna, called here Sattva Guna, will become the cause directly related. Akasha Shabda. So you will relate it, particularly in your book there will be a thing, you can see always that. So that is what is being told. What is this now? Yetesham panchatattvanam madhye. Amongst these 5 elements, Akashasya, of the space, Sattvika Amsha, the Sattvic Guna of Akasham, in that, what has happened now? Shrotra Indriyam Sambhutam. Shrotra Indriyam, organ of hearing, which we generally call ear. This particular ear means not this. This will come under different quality. You are doctors, you know. What really accounts for hearing inside is there. That minute thing which really gives audition, which is instrumental in giving the sound to be heard, that particular capacity is born because of what? Sattva Guna. Born of what? Akasham. So now you can see relation. Akasha, sound, it accounts for what? Ear. So there is a connection. It is not from air. It has to be from Akasha. Akasha having this gunam of sound, naturally the ear has to be born from the Sattva Gunam of Akasha. Though Sattva Gunam is same, but it is accounted from the space itself. Next now. Vayoho Sattvik Amshat. From the Sattvik Amsham, the aspect that is there in Vayu, air, Tvak Indriyam Sambhudam. This epidermis, the skin, where you have got the particular tvacha, where is sense of touch is there. All over the body, anywhere you touch, immediately you sensation is there. Who accounts for that? This is Vayu Sattvik Amsham. Vayu Guna is what? Sparisha. That's why anything touches, immediately you got sensation. Even an ant is moving, all over we know. Why? Because sensation. This is one instrument which is all over, inside, outside. You can feel the heat or cold outside. Even when you take hot things up to the stomach, you can feel the heat. Even cold you can feel up to that. Means inside also there is feeling of touch is there. Outside, that's a pain inside or outside, you can always know. Why? This organ of touch is all over the body. This is one instrument which is all over the body. Otherwise eyes are here only, ears are here only, but the sense of touch is all over the body. It is all over. It is pervading everywhere. Anywhere. That's why Nakha Shika Paryantam. That's why even a particular end of your ear, something happens, you can feel that, some disturbance immediately. Because all over there is sense of touch. It is all over. It is Vyaptam all over. So that is come from where they say Vayu, Vyaptam everywhere. Sparisham is everywhere. That's why it is all over Shaptam. So from where the sense of touch is born? From the Sattvic aspect of Vayu, because Vayu's gunam is Sparisham, sense of touch. Okay. Agnehe Sattvik Amshat. The Sattva Guna belonging to fire, from there is born Chakshurindriyam. Your eyes have got the capacity to perceive, to see, the vision that is there That is accounted as the light in the eyes, the capacity of eyes to see. It has come from the sattvic aspect of fire. Why? What is the gunam of fire? Rupam and varnam. That's why through eyes you see not only forms, you see also colors, all colors. So that is because it has got its birth from the particular fire, and fire's gunam directly corresponds there. Now, jalasya sattvikamshat rasana indriyam sambhutam. From the sattvic amsham that is there in waters, from there is born sense of taste. Because the gunam of water is rasam, and it accounts for the sense organ, the sense taste buds which we have got, all of them is born from there itself. And finally, prithivyaha sattvikamshat, from the sattvic aspect that is there in Prithvi, Mother Earth, is born organ of smell, the capacity to smell, know all the odors or fragrance or flavors, whatever it is, all of them is possible. That gunam is because of this. Through all of them you get lot of knowledge, understand itself. If you go, everything accounts. The sound. People, there are a lot of people who are employed only to distinguish lot of sounds. In music, to know the sur, you have got to be very, very sharp. How much they set the tune, and they have to be so much tuned to that. We may not know, but then you can very clearly. So this is a very important instrument for those people who have to use a lot of their ears to know so many things. Many people make money only through their ears. All telephone operators maximum use which word? The ear and the mouth only, nothing. They have to keep on hearing. And anywhere you go for recording, audition and all, there also more what is required is hearing only. Then other people are there, so many people use their eyes only for a lot of things. And there are people who are making lot of particular perfumes and all, only one instrument they have to use, only their nose. If that has got problem, they cannot work there. You have to differentiate varieties of flavors and so many things, you have to do that. And there are people who are employed only for tasting in the particularly that tea gardens as well as in the distilleries. There are people who are called tasters. They are the people who make various blends. The various blends they taste and certify. And their job is only that. They are experts in that. To taste it and say this is the blend, that is the blend, that is the blend. And accordingly they are all labelled. So one fellow is making money only on taste, another fellow only on smell, third fellow only on seeing. In this manner, varieties are there. Everybody is doing that. Some people are only in touching and feeling the particular thing. When people say count, how soft it is, how hard it is, that is another thing that keeps on going. Thus everything is instrumental in giving a knowledge. And since that is the cause for knowledge, Sattva Gunam accounts for knowledge. So Sattva accounts for the sense organs of perception. Now next one comes is the composite organ which is instrumental in giving the knowledge. That is what is said here. Etesham pancha tattvanam samashti sattvikamshat manobuddhyahankara chittantakaranani sambhutani. Now all these sense organs which you have talked, they are called external organs. External from the standpoint of body. They are external outside the body. They are very much the gate as though outside the body. Now there is an inner organ which is also equally instrumental, which is very much essential for this knowledge. And that is particularly called a composite instrument, which is totally referred as Antakaranam. Karanam means instrument. Antaha means inner. So Antakaranam means what? Inner instrument. And this inner instrument is four-folded based on function. Though it is a one instrument, but it is always called four, functionally different. And what are the four functions we have got? One is called Manaha, the mind. The second is called as Buddhi. And the third one is called Chittam. And the fourth one is called Ahankara. They are going to be dealt with in detail later. So we will not go into details. Suffice that you note here now, Antakaranam means four functions. And the functions are, one is called Manaha, mind. Second is Buddhi, intellect. Third one is Chittam. Chittam is called memory. And the fourth one is called Ahankara, ego. Ego is a product. Understand, that is the important thing to know. Ego is the jiva. Jiva is a product. The jivatvam itself is a product. That is why we can eliminate the jivatvam. Otherwise it cannot be eliminated because it is born of certain thing. So it is located in the Antakaranam. So Ahankara means what? It is called ego. And the ego, as long as the ego, there are two levels of ego. One is the particular problem causing ego. Another one is problem free ego. What we are trying to give is a problem free ego. Ego is necessary, because of that only individuality refers. Ahankara is called individuality. The individuality called Vyaktitva. The Vyakti is there, Vyaktitva is also there. Because of which each one is different. It is an essential thing to conduct our affairs in the world. But then we want to conduct affairs in the world free from problems. Understand? But then whenever we conduct affairs, it seems to bring out a byproduct called lot of problems. So how to be doing things without any problem? That is what is our job. That is what is being told here. And the whole problem is this Ahankara. So we have to correct this Ahankara. For this purpose only so much is being done. And unless it is understood, it will become another complicated Ahankara. Understand itself. Already there is complication. And if it is not proper understood, it will become like even taking a medicine to cure a disease and it creates allergy. Then another problem started. Like even you give a medicine for curing a disease, but in turn it produces a side effect, another problem starts. So like that we want to clear the Ahankara and make it proper, but if it is not understood properly, it can create a lot of further problems. So it should be properly understood. So this four-folded function is what is called Ahankara, Chittam, Buddhi, Manaha is called Antakaranam. From where it is born now? Now earlier we saw individually every element and the Sattvic Amsham together, particularly they accounted for each sense organ. But for this Antakaranam, how it is? They are all mixed together. The total Sattva of all elements put together accounts for this Antakaranam. Why it is said like this? Why it is said like that? Why they are telling like this? Because though eyes are functioning differently, what the eyes do, the nose doesn't know. So near. Though particularly the ear, the nose and the throat are each connected according to medical science. ENT, you put it particularly. they have got a connection. But then still, what the ears do, the nose doesn't know, the throat doesn't know, nor the particular, nothing knows. Each one is totally different. Though they are all connected and all, what one does, the other doesn't know. Thus you will find the five-folded functions are there, each different. But then they are all doing function. Who is the one who has to know all of them? Is you. Because who is the seer? I. Who is the hearer? I. Who is the smeller? I. Who is the taster? I. Who is the feeler? I. Everything is I. So I is one or many. So you have got a seer you and a hearer you separately. The seer itself sometimes becomes the hearer. The hearer sometimes becomes the taster. So that means while doing one, the other thing is absent. That is why you can flexibly move from one place to another. So like even you are moving from one room to another room, you are the common, rooms are different, you keep moving from place to place. Thus you are the common factor behind everything. That means the entire knowledge data that is fed is for whose sake? For the indweller you. They are provided for you. That's why you must remember what was told. They are called Bhoga Sadhanam. Sadhanam means instrument to give you the Bhogam called experiences. All experiences. And what is that? That is what we call as Sukshma Shariram. In the Sukshma Shariram, the important factor which are instruments that are there, they are taken into account. That is what is called here as Anta Karanam. Now, since all these things are different, there should be a common center where all datas or messages should come. Anywhere messages coming from different places, there is a receiving center. In so many places, now you see newspaper, or if you go to telegraph office, if you go, there is a place where varieties of informations are coming to one place. If you see teleprinter department, there you find messages from all over the world keeps on coming. There are different connections or common one where everything comes to one place. And afterwards they sort it out and then put it differently. That means all messages coming, the places they are rooted is different, but they receive where? In one place. This is in all such places. Or let us take one simple place called an organization, an office. An office has got its own branches, or it has got different customers in different cities, everything. But they are all contacting or dealing with one organization. And everybody is sending their own correspondence, mail, everything. That's why in every office you will find there is a common place called mail receiving department. In government offices generally they will say inward section. Inward mail. All coming from outside, they all should come. And there is another place in the same way, outward mail. Both are in the same place. That's why generally they call it as dispatch section. Though it is not simple dispatching, receiving and dispatching. Both are done there. Two different functions. All mails that are received, they come. All mails to be dispatched also goes there only. And that is routed to different places from that department. Similarly, we have got a central place of receiving data from all over the world to be given to you, and that place of receiving center is what is called the mind. That's why what is seen by the eyes, the mind knows. Indirectly, when you see, unless your mind is behind your eyes, you will not see. Is it or not? Simple example I have told you. Whenever something is lying in front of you, but your mind is somewhere, you will search for it. Why? Though your eyes are open, you are not looking, you are thinking. That's why somebody else draws. It is lying in front of you. Oh, thank you. You will say, why? Though you are asking for it, you are not looking there because your thinking is somewhere and you are just looking. Your eyes doesn't fall there. Or when you are walking on the road, you will find that somebody is coming in front of you, but you are very much engrossed in a thought. Though your eyes are open, you are walking, you don't see that person at all. That fellow wonders, this fellow doesn't recognize me, kya baat hai? So he pats you on the back, hey! He says, oh, what happened? Hey, you didn't see me? Oh, sorry, please, I was thinking something. You say that? That means though eyes are open, why didn't you see such a person in front of you? Because my mind is not behind my eyes. Similarly, you are sitting here. Direct example. Your eyes or ears are open, you cannot put a plug. So anything that should go inside. But if your mind is thinking of your house or some other problem, let anything be told, nothing you will hear. Why? Your mind is somewhere means this is almost not functioning. That means any information, that's why sometimes you are busy. Some people read and eat. Have you seen that? Newspaper looking, they will eat. So now, when somebody has made a very nice dish and they have served, but you are very much interested in reading and you are taking and putting in your mouth. And after everything, the lady asks you who served, how was it? Oh, I never saw what is the taste because my mind was here. It was only conveyed in the mouth, everything went away. How was it if you ask me? Just to tell you, okay, nice to say. But it may be a real one because I never tasted it. To know the real taste, my mind must be behind that. Like this only, if somebody tells you something, to hear it should be there. Anywhere, any action you want to do, unless the mind is behind that, you may do action, that is what is called mechanical. Just mechanically things will go. And this is where a lot of errors happen. Why? You do double job at a time. Thinking something doing, it goes on, and after some time you find you have done some mistake. Why did you do? I thought I am doing, but my mind was somewhere else. This is called preoccupation. Mind preoccupied. That means what we should know, anything we do or anything we receive, one important factor which should be behind everything is called the mind. So what is the place of the mind with reference to all sorts of knowledge and experiences that we gain? The important center where first all information comes is called the mind. So we can equate the mind to a receiving center or particularly inward section of the mail department. In the post office you have got. If you go, all mail received, another way all mails are sent. Two places are there. We send mail from here. That is one department keeps on sending outside. Another place all mail from outside comes, which all sent to you. There are two different sort of sorting places. Both are done there. So like that our mind has got dual function. When you receive from outside also mind is necessary. When you want to send, when you are writing something, what should be necessary? Your mind should be behind it. When you are talking something, what is necessary? Your mind. That's why otherwise you will say, sorry, please, I never thought. You have to say. Because you say something, hey, what did you say? Oh, I'm sorry. Why? I never thought. Something I say impulsively, mechanically I say something. So even mechanically you do something, there will be problem. That's why sometimes you are preoccupied, you do something, cooking or something, they make a mistake. What? Generally. Not generally happens, sometimes it will happen. Either you don't put salt and you think you have put. Why? You are preoccupied somewhere. Your attraction is taken somewhere else. So these are all the things that happens in our life. That means mind is a function which is very much essential whether you receive something or you perform. Either way, mind is a common central place. So this mind is a receiving center. Now what does the mind do? The mind has got to distribute whatever data comes to the higher authority. Like in the offices, when the letters come, the dispatch section is only simply, if direct mail address is there, clear, simply put it in a place to the department concerned. Otherwise, if it is generally addressed to office, they are supposed to open the letter, see there will be department mentioned, put it for that department. Their job is only this much, but not to take any decision or action. If dispatch section starts taking action, there will be a lot of commotion. Then the letter is gone to the officer concerned, people concerned, they have to decide what action is to be taken. Why they are doing? Because they have got the experience, they have got the knowledge what should be done. And they in turn, having seen, they send a reply. This is how everything goes. So the person who take decision that is there, that is what is called as buddhi. That means what does the mind do? Mind is only just a distributor of messages. Whatever comes, put it to the buddhi. And the buddhi is the fellow who has to always analyze and see what is to be done, what is not to be done, so many things, and all decisions are taken by the buddhi. So again related to knowledge, everything. Now whatever buddhi gets and he has understood, there is a storing place. Everything is stored. And that storing place is called memory. Like a computer these days, memory can store a lot of information. What about your buddhi? You got all information from your time, you can recognize all information from your childhood onwards, everything is there. How much is there? So much. In the modern days, like even they have got floppy disks, which is a computer terminology. Our buddhi has got so many floppy disks. That is why if you want a very old information to come, sometimes somebody asks, wait, and you keep on cracking your head and all like this. For some time it doesn't come. You say, please wait, I will tell you afterwards. Now you are given this information, I tell you, what a beautiful thing. And you have forgotten. And you find suddenly you are doing something, just that information comes. Oh, now I got. And immediately you phone up. This is what it is. What happened? Like a computer keeps on searching. All the floppy disks which are so low, suddenly it brings it out and tells you. It takes time. Some of them are very fresh, immediately you can give an answer. Some of them take some time. So like that, the biggest computer is here, lot of them. But some of them gets erased. So gaya. Some of them remains. This is what is called a department called memory, which is again related to buddhi. Why? Any decision you want to take, you make it based on previous experience. Is it or not? All decisions you are taking when a patient comes is not present knowledge. Which knowledge it is? What you have learned a long time back in the college, or your experiences of so many years, which makes you take a decision now, what treatment, what should be done, everything. Who gives you all this on the spot? Your memory. Your buddhi consults as though the memory, straight decision is taken. It means who operates all these fellows? Who particularly taps them, switches on, switches off all these fellows? That fellow is called the doer, the karta, who is called ahankara. What do you mean by ahankara? The sense that I do or I enjoy, both of them. Ahankara involves, it is a common coin. One side of the coin of the ahankara is I do. Another side is I enjoy. Why? If it is not the same person, you keep on doing. You do lot of work, salary give to somebody else. You need to work. Or you are earning lot of money, give it in the house. But then it's feeding somebody else is done, not you. Will you like it? That is why the doer itself should be the enjoyer. That means one side is doer, another side is enjoyer. The doer is always the enjoyer. That means ahankara is both. Though we say karta, the karta itself is the bhokta. Means ahankara in short is who? The one who is the doer as well as the enjoyer. And this thing is not some entity, it becomes an entity because it is only a thought. A thought at the level of the buddhi. Hence ahankara is centered where? Buddhi. So we have got four, we say. One, mind is separate function, but buddhi, chittam, ahankaram, they are all complete one factor. Thus this fellow, the ahankara, is the one who wants all the information. For the sake of that, these two instruments properly function. That means 5 different functions, but the center all goes to one place only. And this center where all of them, the composite, one unit of knowledge to come, what is required is this center called Anta Karanam. And since they all the 5 knowledge to come, it is born of the composite sattvic aspect of all the elements, mixture of everything. That's called samashti sattvika amsha. Samashti means what? All put together. Earlier ones were individual. Now antakaranam is born of what? All combined together. Why? Every one of them has to come there for the reason. Now this particular thing will be illustrated by one simple thing, how it works you can see. 2 friends were there, 3 friends. 2 friends were living in a lodge. Another friend is living with the parents. Now they all decided one particular holiday, early morning, we will go somewhere. So this fellow told, you both of you come to my house, we will have breakfast in the house and then we 3 will go together. So as per particularly the arrangement or the particular program, the appointment, these 2 fellows came. And when they came, they asked for this fellow, he has got up now only, has gone to the bathroom to take bath. So they told him, you better sit in the drawing room, he will be coming now. So they waited. Now waiting there, they looked around, there is no magazine, nothing to spend time. So then their eyes went on, particularly seeing one fellow suddenly spotted something. Hey, look, there is a beautiful rose. Now understand now. We are talking about an object called rose. First the rose was given to him by what? One fellow saw and then made a sound. Now the other fellow's attention was drawn by the sound called rose first. Then immediately his attention of the eyes turned, he saw the rose. Now then he looked at the rose. What a big rose, such a beautiful rose. Then he said, these days artificial things are plenty available. But the artificial looks so real. So I don't know whether it is real. So both of them went near. And what they did, first of all, they poked their nose inside. Because the rose means there should be nice smell. And they got very good smell. But still he said they spray sometime these days. Another problem. So this could be artificial. So they use the nose, understand itself. They use the nose, so again to know the rose, another instrument has been used. But still the fellow said that to make it more clear what he said, he just let us touch it. That velvety touch of the rose, no artificial person can create. He touched it is real. But still to make it more, he plucked one petal and put it in his mouth. Now rose remaining one, all the 5 instruments have come into operation. Finally what is the decision? This is real rose. It went to the mind and buddhi confirmed it is real. That means rose remaining one, all the 5 instruments came into operation. Finally one composite knowledge and decision, this is real rose. So what all came into operation? 5 sense organs conveyed to the mind, then to the buddhi, and finally based on the understanding of rose, confirmed this is rose. This is how the antakaranam works. And since it is the center of knowledge, it has got its particular birth from where? From that which is called as particularly Sattva Gunam. So this is one of the reason you must know, if you want clear more intelligence and intellect to work, more will be only with through Sattva. That is why in our country, more and more we were talking about Sattva food, Sattvic food, Sattvic food. Sattvic food is a contributory factor for very alert mind, very alert and sharp intellect. These were all olden days, it is all said there. That is why they were insisting so much on Sattvic food, Sattvic food. Everybody says Sattvic food, but then Sattva has got another meaning called purity. That is also called Sattva, but that is not the Sattva. The Sattva means where Sattva Gunam is there, which all those things in Gita or in Yoga Shastra, they are all totally told there. What are the things, or even in Ayurveda certain statements are there, which are the food which will give more and more of particular Sattva Guna, like even you people indicate which will give more proteins, which will give more carbohydrates, which will give you that, this, like even the medical science tells, according to our Shastra, we have got certain classification of food by telling which food will give more of Sattva Gunam, Sattva Gunam, Sattva Gunam. That is why generally they will say take this food, that food. That's why olden days certain food were prohibited. Understand? We must understand our culture. Why certain food we never used to eat. Certain things were prohibited in our houses. Because they wanted to maintain the Sattva Guna. And Sattva Guna, why it is so important? Because that only gives you more of intelligence. That is why you find in our houses, very orthodox houses, many things were never allowed inside. Food never used to have many things. But today all those things are very much in the house. Understand? But we ask a question, what is the wrong in eating that? What is the wrong in eating this? If it is simply eating, you can do no problem about it. But then if you understand some technical thing, it is okay, like you telling, why should I not eat? It will increase your blood pressure. It will increase that. It will increase this. So stop all of them. Don't you tell them? So like that only. This is how we should know what is the idea of selling that. But when we tell something in the spiritual angle, people think it is all superstitious. Understand? That's the biggest problem. They don't understand why it is told. Because nobody explained anything in olden days, so these are all called taboos they taught. Everybody says it's all spiritual taboos. Forget about all these things. These are all superstition. So let us do whatever. I like it, I will eat. You like it, you eat. Like that everything started. So that is why sometimes what from the spiritual angle cannot be eaten, you may say it has got very good, it is cure for that, you can take it. So if it is medical science, then the food which otherwise you don't take, you may take. But if it is spiritual angle, medical thing is not the important thing, you will take it that way. This is how we must clearly understand. So from what angle it is being seen should be clear. Then there is no conflict. There is no fight. But if it is not understood, there will be a lot of argument, why should not be taken, why that, why this, 1,000 things will be there. So that is why our Shastra says, what is mind? Mind is a product of food. These are all there, lot of things are said in our Upanishads and all. Mind is nothing but a product of food. So that means indirectly mind can be influenced by the type of food. The simple thing you find, any type of intoxicants taken, what happens to the mind? Anything that is intoxicating, immediately you find the mind is the first victim. Simple thing, you take some particularly food that has got too much of toxicity and other things, mind gets affected, either drowsiness comes, something else comes, varieties of things happens. Then that mind becomes totally useless for doing any work. And the more and more you take, after some time the mind is totally gone. So this is why mind is affected by the food. So what is the direct relation of food to the mind? You must clearly understand. And since mind, we want a mind, sattvic mind, that's why they gave so much importance of the value for sattvic food. That is why our culture, we must understand how these are all related to the culture. Our culture was like that. They are not directly based on all the things, that's why our life was like that. But today we are far away from this culture. That is why we question why that food should not be taken, why this should not be eaten, why that should not be eaten. We ask a question. And generally people cannot answer. So we dub it, this is all superstition, it is all taboo. So that is really everything, everybody eats anything and goes on today. That is the condition today. So olden days they knew they were doing, but they could not explain. That's why after some time everybody forgot. So when you started asking, they could not explain. So they said these people are superstitious. This is why we dubbed everybody. That's why when something is followed generally by everybody, questioning stops and after some time it becomes superstition. But it is not superstition, there is some particular scientific thing behind it, which we must clearly understand. As long as we don't understand, we will blame everything. Once you understand, then you will appreciate the whole thing. That's what we must understand. Hence, that is the reason I am only just, though it is not a direct subject, I am only just telling you, that's all please. Because you will not find all the thing in the book. You may say this is not there, why are you talking all the things? I am only just, because it is a relation, mind we are talking, antakaranam we are talking, buddhi we are talking, there is sattva gunam. So how food has got a direct contributory factor to all the things. But it is basically made of sattva. If you want to maintain it, you can do it by adding more and more of sattva guna by in the process of eating and other things. Many things in Gita, Bhagavan tells in the 16th chapter, 17th chapter, 18th chapter, how even your life, living, your attitudes, outlook, so many things, everything you can bring it under sattva, by which you can improve upon the sattvic guna at the level of mind, intellect, everything. Why it is necessary? It is very much important for this particular thing, the goal called moksham. Otherwise, sattva, another way if you call, sattva is the cause for quietude, calmness and peace. A sattvic mind will be always a peaceful mind. The other gunas are all the disturbing conditions. So this is how our spiritual conditions and our shastras refer to all the things. So thus This is how the Antakaranam is said. Now, having said, now he talks about what is the mind. So we will read the next one. Sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha nischayatmika buddhihi aham karta ahankaraha chintana kartru chittam. So all the four of them, what they are? Sankalpa, Vikalpa, Atmakam, Manaha. Mind. Manaha means mind. Atmakam means in the form of. Its nature, its reality is in the form of Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Sankalpa means positive thinking. Positively a decision you say. Means I want to do. This is called Sankalpa. Vikalpa means questioning or totally negating, cancelling, saying, why should I do? Or should I do? First you say, I want to go somewhere. Next minute, the same mind, the thought comes, should I go? Is it necessary to go? This is called Vikalpa. That means what you thought, totally opposite you think. So very positively thinking is called Sankalpa. The opposite thinking is called Vikalpa, which negates the other one. The mind in this manner constantly vacillates, fluctuates from this place to that place. This is the nature of the mind. That is why whenever you allow the mind to take a decision, you will have room to regret and say sorry. And why do you say sorry? Please, sorry, I never thought at that time. That means that action was what is called impulsive action, impulsive decision. But whenever the buddhi plays, you will have no question of saying regret, because you are sure of what you have done. Hence, mind basically is that over and above this, mind is the place where particularly you have the emotions, all psychological thing, which is not told here. Basically what is told is only Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Plus you must add the entire field of emotions, psychological, psychic. In your language, everything is where at the level of the mind only. The mind is the place, the location where everything takes place. We generally use in medical language mental. This mental includes mind plus buddhi. You must know that. In our Shastra, we make just a line of demarcation. That's what. Otherwise, where is the mind located? You cannot locate the mind anywhere. Because mind is not a tangible object. If that is so, you would have particularly done lot of repair for the mind. That you cannot locate the mind, catch it under any X-ray or anything, that's the biggest problem. That's why psychiatry is not only ask and ask and ask and ask. That only you can do. You cannot locate the mind, catch the mind, put it under a microscope or anything and read the mind and all is not at all possible. Why? Because mind is not a product. Then what is it? Mind is thought process. Mind is nothing but thought. It is continuous thinking is called mind. And this thinking is always in the positive or negative way, this way, that way. I did or I did not do, should I not do, aisa, vaisa, constantly goes on fluctuating. And that is what you say indecisive mind. So that is the condition problem always. And that is the nature of the mind. You cannot say why it is. It is the nature of the mind. In some people it is too constant. Some people rarely it comes. But some people always for anything, sometimes one day will say, next minute, no, they will say. So then you will get angry, you will say, decide now. How many times you will change? Some people change every few minutes. Abhi ek bolega, next minute something else. So it becomes problem for you. So they will say, I cannot particularly believe you, please. You decide and tell me. So this is how sometimes say, uska, you cannot have any faith in that fellow. Abhi ek bolega, dusra baat dusra bolega. This is what is the condition of the vacillating, fluctuating mind. Though it is in nature, it differs from person to person. But then that is the nature of the mind itself particularly. And what is that? Simple thing is particularly. Generally when you are going somewhere to the railway station or somewhere outside, and if you get delayed, that one only everything will come. And you will, in a hurry, you would have locked the door. Or you are going out. So many things are there we can put. Either locking door or particularly closing that particular gas or locking the cupboard. Like that varieties of things are there. After halfway in the rickshaw or car or you are going, suddenly your mind starts, did I lock the door? Start. This is done by the mind only. This is called vikalpa. And suddenly the same mind says, yes, I locked. And suddenly, are you sure? It will ask a question. Understand? 2-3 times it comes, you will say, stop, let us go back. Let us go back. And all the way you will come back and look at it and pull the lock. And then you will be satisfied. Or if you are worried whether I locked the particular, put the gas off or not, have I put it off or not, have I locked it, what I have done, you will go inside, open, see, and they will come. Or cupboard, whether I locked, did I keep the key properly, all the doubts, you go back and do everything. Who creates this problem? Mind. And you leave it at the mind level, it will never allow you to be quiet and peaceful. Keep on bugging every few minutes, remind you, did you do it, did you do it, did you do it, until such time you do it, you will not be peaceful at all. And this you all must be experiencing in your life. So who is the troublemaker? This is called the mind. This is the mind. And its nature is like that. Okay. So now you understood what is mind, understand now. So you cannot say mind your business. You should say I am minding my business. What is my business? To create this problem for you is my job. I will do that. If you leave me to that, I will do all these problems only. My nature is like that. That is the nature of the mind. Understand that itself. So if somebody's mind is like that, you cannot blame. Because that is the nature of the mind. See, this is very important to understand. Because some people complain, my mind is always like this. Then what to do? Its nature is like that, it will be like that. So understand. Tackle it by knowing its nature. Many things. We handle animals by knowing its nature. Many animals are tamed and other things by knowing the nature of the animals. Many things we do by knowing the nature. Similarly, one of the important way of tackling mind is by knowing its nature. Because more not knowing the nature, we worry. When we worry, the problem becomes more problem. And only will advise, don't worry, don't worry. You may advise, don't worry, but what am I to do? I worry. Advising, don't worry, doesn't stop worries, I tell you. These people always advise me. I don't know why, they don't understand me. Another worry. So this advising, don't worry, doesn't help, I tell you. So the only way is certain things are, that's why in psychology and all, what they do mostly, they very much particularly say that is correct. The psychological treatment is like that. Many things they validate. Yes, that problem will be there. That is correct only. And you are peaceful. At least this person understands me. When somebody understands you, are so free with that person. Another person is not willing to understand, no use telling. So you don't open up at all. But the person who understands you, you are out. That is the psychiatric treatment. The psychiatric fellow understands, yes, that is right. It will be like that. Then fellow is there to come out with so many things. And when they come out with so many things only, finally the fellow finds, where is the problem? This is the method of particularly tackling anybody. The moment you try to say, no, that is not correct, that fellow will close. The best way to get out is, I say, I think that is correct only. After all, that is natural only. How can it be? When you say, this fellow, yes, there is somebody to understand me. Because many people have got no patience to listen to other fellow. Straight away we want to give our advice. There are a lot of problem in that. So that is why psychiatry must be, some of you may be psychiatrists, I don't know. So they might have taught you that only. A psychiatrist fellow has got a lot of patience to listen to other fellow. Whatever they say, patiently see and listen and listen and listen and try to take out by telling them, yes, that is right, it will be like that only, you are not wrong. The more you say you are not wrong, the fellow is very much happy. The once you say you are wrong, the fellow closes. This is human nature, after all, human nature. So here also this is the treatment of the mind to understand. Mind means it will have this fluctuating nature. So what can we do by a treatment? The occasions of this happening we should try to reduce. If it becomes too often, there is a lot of problem. Its nature is that, but it's not always. But it will be like that. We must know that. So that is mind. Okay. Now what is buddhi? Nishchayatmika buddhi. The atmika means its nature. The nature of the buddhi is always to be taking decision. Decision to be decisive or to discriminate is the nature, to reason out, to rationalize. These are all the nature of the buddhi. So decisiveness, decision making is always the nature of the buddhi. That's why if the mind on the way says like this, and the buddhi comes, yes, definitely I have done it, the mind will keep quiet. But when the buddhi is not able to say, then only mind keeps on reminding. When the buddhi says, one say, yes, I have done it, finished. Mind will keep quiet. No sound from the mind. Absolutely. Have you not seen that? So who does that? The buddhi. That means buddhi is the boss of the mind, understand? But when the boss is not alright, all other people become too strong, understand itself? That is why when your buddhi is not clear, mind creates lot of havoc. That's why if at all we have to correct and control the mind, our buddhi should be always very alert. And constantly, the mind does like this, I should be ever available to correct the mind, supervise the mind, guide the mind, apply the mind. These are all done by whom? By the buddhi. Why? Buddhi has got all knowledge and experience, everything, and the buddhi is the one which always corrects, guides, applies anything, the mind. So buddhi is the place where all decisions are taking. That means decision, who decides? I locked, I have closed, I have done it. Everything, a doubt comes, immediately the doubt is removed by knowledge and understanding. That is always done by the buddhi. So buddhi means nishchayam, all cognition, recognition, all the things are done by the buddhi. That is the nature of the buddhi. Okay. What is ahankara? I told you, aham karta ahankara. I already talked about it. The notion that I did, or again I told you, I enjoy. Both this thinking that is there, which is at the level of the buddhi, is called ahankarta. Seems ahankara is not some tangible thing, it is only a thought. That is why while sleeping, who goes to sleep? What is sleep? You all know very well. Because how do you put a patient to sleep? And why do you put a patient to sleep? When a patient too much worries, what do you do? Sedate the fellow. So it means sedate, what happens? The mind and the buddhi, everything is totally put inactive. That means in sleeping, who sleeps? We generally say patient is sleeping or a person is sleeping. Understand, really what goes to sleep is this equipment called antakaranam. That only sleeps. Because that is the one which does lot of worry, lot of work and lot of mischief. So the mischief being at that level, that only has to be put to sleep. That's why every day who gets tired? When you say, I am tired, who is tired? That ahankara is the fellow who is telling, I am tired. And that's why who goes to sleep every day? This ahankara, which is a thought only. That fellow goes to sleep. And who only thinks, I did this, I did that, all this goes on. And that fellow goes to sleep, I slept well. This is what it is. So I am tired is also that thinking only. I did so much is that fellow. I enjoyed so much is that fellow. Everything is ahankara, which is only a thought. But then the truth of that fellow is Atma. The truth of that is Atma. Without Atma there is no ahankara, there is no buddhi, no thought is possible. The truth of every thought is Atma. But Atma is free from all of them. But without Atma they cannot be there. This is how we tackle ahankara. Understand? Ahankara has to be tackled this way only. Knowing the fellow. You must know the ahankara. Once you know that you are Atma, you don't do anything, and there is an ahankara after that, you will just come and say, I did, but you know I don't do anything. Implicating Atma in every activity makes the Atma to be an ahankara. Understand? While Atma doesn't perform anything, but implicating, means attributing activities to Atma, makes the Atma to be ahankara. The moment you understand the Atma, I don't do anything, you are no more ahankara. Then what is that ahankara? That ahankara is a toothless snake or a fangless snake. It cannot create any problem. So that is how the ahankara should be tackled. For that purpose only this knowledge. Suffice here, more we will see particularly. So ahankara means this thought process of either a doer or an enjoyer, sufferer. That's why ahankarta ahamkaraha. Then chintana kartru chittam. Particularly. The chittam is what particularly, as I told you, is the seat of memory. All memory particularly. Anything that has happened from childhood onwards, even till yesterday, whatever is there, any past is all recorded. And it has got double function. First of all, when you learn, it has to grasp and store everything. Another function is, whenever you want, it has to come out. This is called retentive capacity, reproductive capacity. Both are at the level of the memory only. Like a tape recorder, at one stage it has to record, and later on when you play, it has to reproduce. Our memory is recording. When you are listening now, you are recording. After some time you can reproduce. And this system that is available is what is called the memory, which functions more and more. That's why I told you floppy disk. In a computer, floppy disk, initially you record, later on you can play, you can produce everything. So those disks are available, that is called as memory, everything particularly. So anything, that's why you can recognize. The past you recognize, a person you have seen long time back, you recognize from where? From that memory it comes and says, oh, you are so and so. So many years back I saw you. Everything comes from where? From that only it comes. Or if you cannot, suddenly wait for some time. Do you recognize me? Tamba. You will say for some time. Then suddenly, to come out. Because you are searching for the floppy disk. Kone. Suddenly it comes. So this is how the four-folded function of the antakaranam, everything takes place. Thus, for a human being, this antakaranam is a very important thing. Our all functions are going, it's a so fast action, I tell you. The eyes are reporting, goes to the mind, put to the buddhi, memory, suddenly action goes on so fast. So we don't think such actions are there. Like in a computer, how fast action goes on. Like that here also the action so fast. But then when there is some defect, it becomes very sluggish. That's why it takes lot of time for things to go. Thus, this is the total function with reference to knowledge. Though you must know, this knowledge and these things are very much essential even for any other actions you want to do. Even to write something, who should be there behind that? Buddhi, mind. To speak, who is required? Buddhi, mind is required. All these people are required. That's why it is a central thing for any function. Any function you want to do, this mind intellect function is very important. That's why what is the important thing in a human being? I told you in Tattva Bodha, this mind intellect is very important. That's why when the mind intellect goes bad, human's life is gone. That's why mentally deranged means that person becomes useless in life. So what is the important instrument in our life? Though generally you will say heart, heart, heart. Some people, one fellow mentally deranged, heart is very good, but the fellow is useless. Is it or not? That's why even with heart ailments, people with intelligent people, they are all living in life. So what is very important? Though heart is important, but then over and above the heart and other things, very important thing is this mind intellect equipment is very important. For what? To go with the life, to lead a life, that is a very important thing. Otherwise, that's why I give you a particular contrast. If a person's particularly heart is very strong, like a rock, but mentally completely gone, what life? The life is totally useless. That doesn't mean heart can be bad. That is not the idea. But then what is the very important factor that makes you a human? To be living properly, we should always understand. It is the mind intellect which is very important. We should pay more attention there only. That is the important thing. Many of our activities sometimes damages this mind and intellect. And once it gets damaged, the life is gone. The life is gone. Many people are like that, understand itself. One incident in life, some shock comes, they are out, absolutely gone. These are all the things we see in life. That is why certain moderations, certain proper value-based life, so many things are important because that takes care of this instrument called mind and intellect, which is a very delicate thing we must know. Very easily it can damage. That's why children, when we become very true and rash, sometimes the mind is damaged. That child finds it very difficult afterwards. Similar can happen with even grown-up people. One word sometimes puts a person totally out. That is called the shock. That person told me like that, told me like that. The fellow keeps on repeating. That becomes as though mental derangement. It becomes like that. Hence the psychological aspect of human being is a very, very subtle thing. That's why very proper handling is very much essential. Otherwise the person becomes useless in life, for the whole life, which we must clearly understand. So we will stop here. The next section is another topic, because another thing comes, we will see it next class and proceed. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरि ओम्.